Paynesville Area Healthcare System serves the communities you live in. With medical clinics in Belgrade, Cold Spring, Eden Valley, Paynesville, Richmond, and Spicer, you are sure to find personalized care close to home. We truly are a small system with big services.
Hi, I'm Staska, Superintendent of Schools at the ROCORI District, and just doing a construction update here at the early part of March. Where we're at right now is on the middle school wing of the construction project, so we're on the west end of the high school in the middle school area itself. Just want to give an update to it. At this point in the project, we've made incredible progress on this part of the building. Actually, as we're standing here in early March, we're getting very close to having the construction teams kind of hand this part of the building over to us with most of the items finished. They're beginning to look at some of the things on punch list type things, going through some final details, and so made incredible progress here on the middle school part. There are still some pieces that we need to work on. As an example, the connecting wings or links between the existing high school and the middle school. We need to do the terrazzo flooring there, and we need to finish those links off. But for the most part, any of the classrooms we look at in the middle school are virtually ready to go and just waiting for us to put some of our things in them. On the very north end of the lower level, again, we've kind of designated that as our science area for 6th, 7th, and 8th. Three different types of science classrooms actually as a part of it. One on the very west side, northwest corner of the wing. We have what we consider to be the 8th grade science classrooms, and they're a more traditional looking science area with the workstations and the lab stations out in the middle of the classroom. We have some permanent pieces, and then in the middle, as we finish off with fixtures and furnishings for the room, we'll have some tables that can slide back and forth, and they'll be able to move to those fixed lab stations so that we can get all of the students. But for like lecture and presentation, the tables and stations would be in the middle of the room, not connected to the lab stations, but when we get into the lab setting, they can move back and forth and rotate. So the 8th grade labs are in great shape. Again, nearing completion, nearing finishing of the work within those settings. Across the hall, we have the 7th grade science areas. Again, 2 classrooms that are designed primarily for the way that we teach 7th grade. More open space within those because the labs, as you can see in the rooms, are around the outside edges. I think the last time we were looking at them, there was parts of construction going on here, and the labs and the countertops were not in place, but at this point in time, virtually all of that has been completed. And again, we're waiting for the fixtures and furnishings as we order those through the spring here to be able to come back and put desks or tables in the middle of the room. So in the 7th grade setting, in the middle of the room, the space that's there, you can imagine some student desks or student tables, and then when they need to go to the lab stations, they would go to the outside of the room and do their labs in there. The third part of the north addition on the main floor would be the 6th grade science rooms. Obviously, the level of science is not the same as it is in 7th and 8th grade and needing the same type of lab settings, but they still need access based on curriculum to things like water and some countertop and some space to spread out with their experiments and their projects. And so the 2 classrooms here are designed along the side. We have sinks that are readily available for that classroom. Obviously, it's a carpeted area, so we're not expecting the same types of chemicals and the same types of experiments as would happen in the 7th and 8th grade labs. Room that we happen to be standing in is at the very south end of the middle school wing. This happens to be the 6th grade computer lab, and throughout the building we actually have 3 different labs for computer purposes. There's basically, if you go by color, there's the gold room, which is the one that we're in for the 6th grade, and in the middle of the 2nd floor, there's a blue room and a green room, which would be the 7th and 8th grade computer labs. Lots of neat fixtures and furnishings, as you can see in the room. Last part of what I'd like to look at in terms of the middle school specifically would be on the upper level. We have a couple of special places, a couple of special rooms designed. One is our special education suite. We call it a suite simply because it's a combination of rooms. There are actually 3 rooms linked together. One primarily intended to be an office area or teacher space, but also can be a student space if needed. But then there's 2 rooms back to back that connect to each other so that we can adjust and accommodate how we teach and interact with special education students. The last piece that I just want to highlight is our flexible learning lab, which is actually 2 classrooms connected together. They can be opened up and the space is available. Intended to be for larger group meetings, maybe a grade level meeting if we have just the 7th graders meeting. Might also be a couple of teachers that bring classrooms together. We just recently completed History Day projects as an example at the middle school. On March 2nd, we had presentations on History Day. The lead up to that, quite often social studies teachers and English teachers may need to get together to pool their time and their resources, allow space for students to spread out, to be able to work together and do cross-curriculum work. And that's what the extra space on the 2nd floor is really designed to do, is to have 2 classrooms that are flexible in space. They can be shortened up to be just an individual classroom, or they can be opened up to allow the rooms to have teachers interacting with it. Again, we've made incredible progress. A lot of the features are already in place. Most of the rooms are essentially finished. We've made great progress. What we're working on at this point in time is the fixtures and the furnishings that come back into those rooms. Some of that will move from the existing middle school, but a lot of it needs yet to be ordered this spring and will be brought in and installed over the course of the spring and the summer. But again, we've made incredible progress, and the middle school, for all intents and purposes, is nearing completion and is ready to be handed back over to the school district so that we can do our final work in getting ready for the fall of 2011.